Hello, just get myself sat down. Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 7th of April. I'm just going to pop the pop Crafting with Dawn Bibby on my phone just so I can see if it's gone live yet. And then we can, there we go, I think I have. I saw it click up there, so I think it's gone, but it just disappeared again. I'll give it another minute and just keep refreshing it. I'm just going to start off with, I found these little flowers that Dawn's been making little mini bags up for us. Thought while I was just waiting for people to join, we'd make a little bunch, like a little spray thing. And I also thought we could show you how you could maybe incorporate these as well if you wanted to. Let me just tap again and see if I can get live. I can see myself flicking up and then I just disappear again. Let me scroll just on here, just because then I can see comments and see if anybody's actually joined me. If I'm having trouble getting in, then you may be having trouble getting in. I'm going to go to events and happening now. Start live video. Let me just check my... I can see, if I just look very high up onto my tablet that's doing this, I can see Margaret and Joanne and Kim. So hello everybody. I can't actually see the live on my phone. Well, that's all I'm faffing about with, trying to find it. Ah, there I am. Oh, lovely. There we go. So I can see Kim, Joanne, Louise, Margaret. Hello everybody, that's great. So there's some people watching. Sorry about that little faff. I've got a couple of projects for you tonight, which I'm thinking are going to be quite nice. We'll just let people join a little bit if they can. And I'm just going to quickly make a little sprig out of these little flowers. So this was a little pack called Petite Stems. These are quite nice little small sprigs. And then these little fellas here are some of the little stamens. So you'll see in the stamens, don't just think you can use them for nibbles. You could also use them in your little mini displays. So I've picked this one out and you can see that they're quite floppy. Let me just show you. This is just a little tag. So there's one there. So these ones are made with like a little string, cotton. Some of them you get are wired. These are little cotton ones that I've got from Dawn. So I thought, oh, what can I do with those as well? Not just to put them in the centre of my flowers. So I got one or two off. Get that one out. And I know it's a bit of a faff and you might not feel like doing this. You might have wired ones that you want to use. But I just thought I need that to be a little bit stiffer to use in my project. So you can see here, I've cut one of the ends off and I've now got a stiffer thing. So all I did for that earlier on today, I got a little bit of my cellophane and I made a little puddle with a little bit of Dawn's glue, just a tiny bit, and a little bit of Dawn's pearl accent paint. Put them in a pile together and then I just stiffened the string with the portion and then left them to dry. So it's just given them a slight colour, but it's given them a little bit more body. So that was just an idea if you wanted to use those as well in little mini bits. You know, my brain, I can't even speak, can I? In little mini bouquets. So I'm going to make a little mini one now with these just to show you. So I'm going to just bunch them together in my hand where I want them. So I'm going to have 3 main blossoms, and I'm just going to offset them so I get them sort of, you know, at different levels. And then I'm going to get Dawn's little bits that I've stiffened up and I'm just going to poke them in my little handheld bit, and I'm just randomly sticking them in. So it's a little bit fiddly, but you're just going to get the idea. While I'm sitting here, put them all in. There. So I've just made a little mini bouquet with those. I'm then going to get a little bit of twine. If you've got a little bit of wire, again you could use forestry wire. I just had a bit of this old twine from wherever I was. Oh, and I also thought maybe you could use your Bodabra stuff, but that's maybe not the one to use. It's got a little bit of wire in it. But all I did earlier on today was just tie them round with the string. So it's a little bit fiddly, but it did work earlier on when I did it. There we go. So I'm just tying them round and make a little knot. This is something you could just sit and do fiddling if you wanted to just make a few up ready that might be useful for your projects. Tie it round, and then you can always sort of fiddle a little bit with it like that. And then if you wanted your string putting at the front or the back, you could do that. If you had a very fine bit of ribbon, you could also use that. You know the bits that come out of your clothes on your shoulders where you get like a little bit of satin ribbon? They're good to keep. And when you get a t-shirt or a top and they put little bits of ribbons on to hang them onto your hanger. There we go. Can't remember which way around I was now, like that. So then all I'm going to do is try and tidy up my little messy ends here. I'm just going to snip them off. What I don't need. I actually think I'll just cut them down a bit because I don't need it to be that tall. There we go. So how's everybody doing? So we've just had Easter weekend, haven't we? So today was the first day back to work. So I hope you're all okay. Some of you will be working in schools and you might get the chance to be off for a couple more weeks. So there, I think that's it. And then I'm going to trim me a little bit of string as well. And it's just a little small thing, but just another little idea for you to make a little mini bouquet that you could use. Hi Gillian. Hi Sarah. Hi Karen. Hi Louise. Everybody. I don't know if I've said hello to everybody. If there's anybody watching and not commenting, I was just showing how to make a little bouquet. It's fine. You don't have to comment. We're just happy that you're here. So that was using some stamens and some little mini flowers that Dawn's given us. I just thought that was another way to use them. So I made another little one earlier on today as well. So this was the one I made with the shiny stamens in. So I just thought they were quite cute really. And that could be something, if I just sit and do that every now and then, if I feel like, oh, I don't know what to do, make a few little bunches up. I thought that would be quite a nice little mini project for you. And then you can pop them on your cards. Right, I'm going to leave them to the side because we might need it later, or we may not, but quite pleased with them. They're just cute. Cute. Right, today's projects. We've got a couple of things to do. We've got a few people watching, so that's good. I think we can just get on and I'll show you what I've been making. I've got some paper favourites and I made a couple of cards. So these are the cards I've made. This is with the lovely lilies paper favourites that came recently. I haven't put my sentiment in this one yet, but you can see this is what I'm going to show you how to make. I'm going to do a Provençal one, I think. This is a Provençal. Very simple, but it looks really lovely. I've used one of those Katie Sue sentiments that we have got in. I've got the big pack that's got all year round because I thought that would just come in and I would be able to find a sentiment whenever I needed it. So it has a little mini card and then just crosses over there. And then I thought probably I was waiting for that to dry. We might want to put one of our little bouquets on there. Might put another little tag on or a bit of ribbon. But it was that. I was just thinking, oh, is there anything I could put on the front? And I was sort of thinking to myself, maybe one of my little bouquet would go on there. So that's where the bouquet came from, just thinking, the little mini spray. So I'm going to show you how to make this, but I thought it looked really nice in the lilies as well. And I did that in a 5x7 size. So I used John's cards that the card packs that she brings us, cards and envelopes. So this was the 5x7 one, this was the 6x6 one, and they went really well with the paper favourites. So I used the lily pack, loads to choose from in there, and then the other thing I used was the Provençal. So I'll show you how I did this card because it's quite nice. It isn't too hard, but it looks quite effective. So you can see I've just got a few of the Provençal 6x6s, and Dawn's got these in, she said, so give her a shout if you want any. I've just got a few bits here left to show you, so I haven't got all of the pack, but they're lovely colours. And the one I chose there is sort of very similar to that one, with the little bits of wood and such like. And then I actually just cut another one up to get the topper, but that still left me with another topper as well if I want to use that another day. There we go. So that's what the first one's going to be. Hi Karen, thanks for joining us. We just made a little mini spray while I was just letting people join. A couple of little sprays, which I thought was another good way to use up some of Dawn's flowers, if you just want a little mini topper on a card or on a tag, something like that. So we're going to make this card now. I'll pop it in front of me there, so hopefully you'll be able to see that as well while we're doing it. Now, last week, did anybody spot the the accidental mistake that I made on my desk last week? Was anybody eagle-eyed? Did anybody see? Put that down there, actually. Now that I've looked. No. See if you can have a think. You can't see. Now you see it, now you don't. What it was that I forgot about last week. Right, so to start with, I've got my 6x6 card blank from Dawn, and then I've just taken one of the paper favourite Provençals. That's a nice one, and I've cut it down to size so that it just mats and layers onto it ready. So I've just gone in by 1/4 of an inch, I think, all the way around on that to fit the card. And then I've also done the same with a piece of green, which has come from the Spring Marianne pack. Ones where you get 6x12s and you get a different colour on each side, so they're really nice for matting and layering. So I'm starting with that so I can then use them and cut them up. Hopefully that's all ready to cut the right way. So that's the first thing I need. For the little mini card that I made, it's a 3x3, 3 inches by 3 inches card. So that was cut at 3x6, and then I just folded it. And then I've made a little mat for the inside and another little mat for the inside. And then I've picked a sticker out. And I've also been through the little pack, and I've cut a topper for the top of that little 3x3 card. And I've just cut that down again by a little mini bit so that it'll mat onto there. All right, so that's all the preparation done. Very simple. You just need either a paper trimmer, or you would need a ruler and a knife and a steady hand to cut, because we're going to cut from the top corner down to the bottom right, so top left down to bottom right. Hi Sarah Jane, thank you for joining us. You haven't really missed too much yet. We're just on the first card, and Albie has just gone outside and is going to bark, so I may need to run out and get him. because he's a menace. And I think my son's gone upstairs. So what I'm going to do before I go and get him is I'm going to line up that top left hand corner into my groove, and I need to also line up the bottom. I don't think you can see the bottom because of the way the camera is in the groove, so I'm going to cut straight across from one corner to the other. There we go. So I've cut off straight across one corner to the other. Straightforward, nice and easy. There we go. I'm going to discard that for the minute. I won't throw it away though because I'm going to use it. Right, 2 seconds because I'm going to go and get him in. Have a little look at that loveliness and have a little chat amongst yourselves. And I'm going to go and bring Albie inside, because if I don't, he'll just keep barking. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. I'm going to tell him off. Oh. You can also have a little look at my other little project I'm doing at the minute, doing some painting. Right, Albie, in. Get in. In. My goodness, causing trouble. That's it now. You'll be upset because you're not outside in the nice cool air. Right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, it's the pigeons at this time of night. And normally I would have the door shut, but it's been quite hot today. Sorry, these are my little bits. I'm also having a little play with the daisy mould from the Daisy Art Collection. So I've been painting my little daisies. So there, that was that. Are we all right? I'm back again. Oh, I will one day. I will come on the live myself one day, Sarah. But I look like I've gone through a hedge backwards. I need my hair washing. So I'll show you him another day. Do you know, yesterday, sorry, I'm going to have to just catch my breath because I was rushing. And I was so exhausted yesterday that I couldn't actually manage to walk and had to get my scooter out. And because I had the scooter to go around the block, I just went a bit further than I normally would with him. And because he's a little bit old now, he then just like at one point he just sat down and he just said, I'm not going anywhere. That's me done. And I thought, well, I'm never going to get home at this rate. So I picked him up and put him on my knee, and he had a little ride on my scooter. So my son took a photograph and sent it to the girls because they thought it was funny. Right, back to the card. So what I'm going to do now again is I'm going to do the top left to the bottom right, and I'm going to line it up. Or you use a ruler and a craft knife, or mark it and trim it however you like. Easier with the trimmer for me. So I'm just going to cut those two in half, and I'm going to do the same with my green that I've chosen as my mat. So hopefully you can see the top part of the trimmer. That I'm trying to get that lined up as best I can, and you don't think you can see the bottom, but hopefully you get the idea. Don't use the scoring one by accident like I've just done. There we go. Now he's going to settle down next to me, bless him. Sit down on the floor and be good. Okay, so we'll come back to the card, and I'm just going to get this one and layer it up on here. Because we'll cut it to size beforehand, it should all fit nicely. And then I'm going to cut that one down, stick that one down there, try to sort of roughly line up things. Not so bad because it's not crucial to line it up brilliantly, other than for your corners. If that little pattern doesn't quite meet in the middle, I'm going to be putting my little square extra card on there anyway. So let's do some sticking down. That's it. Has everybody finished their Easter eggs? Wesley was pleased. I don't buy him an Easter egg. I say, oh, you can have one in the sales afterwards. So he was chuffed yesterday. He went to the shop and I gave him some money, and he came home with his little Easter egg that he found in the reduced section. Now he's going to start squeaking. Albie, what are you doing? Trying to get comfy. There we go. A bit of Dawn's glue. Oh, oh, oh! Oh, oh my goodness. I'm all fingers and thumbs. Just wait till I get on the other project. I'm going to be using New Beginnings for the next one, and it does involve a bit of thinking. So let's be able to manage. There we go. And the weather has been lovely today. Has anybody been out and about? He's all right. He's making a little nest on the settee behind me now. He'll get settled down. That little Albie. There we go. And actually, because it's such a nice evening as well, people may be out and about and enjoying themselves. I've popped on to Lorraine's slot today. She's still on her holidays, and I've got family coming this week. So I had a skip delivered. They're going to come and help me do some tidying and cleaning up. There we go. So I'm just lining that up. Hopefully it's fairly in the right place, as I can't see very well from this angle. There we go. And there. So that's the first bit, nice and simple. Then we're going to get our green bits that we've cut, and we're just going to pop one on there and one on there. So nice and simple, but very pretty. I think it was a nice effective sort of shape. And I didn't do any extra embellishments, so you could always get your stickles out or your gems out, stick some extra bits on, little bits of ribbons, that would, you know, extra sentiments, whatever you want to put on. Just carry on and decorate it as you want. But I just thought the basis of the card was something that I thought looked really good and was a nice way to use those paper favourites we've got. I made another little a decoupage one, which I actually picked a pattern that I didn't have enough papers of to get as many layers as I wanted, because I wanted more layers, but it still looks all right. I'll show you that in a minute, because these, I've got the lily ones and the hibiscus ones that came, that Lily Dawn had recently, and they're lovely. There we go, and we'll just stick this one on this corner. Hopefully line that up all right. There we go. So that's the first part of the card done. There we are. Next bit, we'll stick our little bits in here. You can have them whichever way around you want. We could always go for the pale green on the inside of this one if we wanted, just to be a bit different. Why not? And again, I've just cut the mats to just down by about a quarter of an inch. I don't know, might have been a bit less actually, a bit more, sorry. So the border was there. Hopefully I've got enough room for my sentiment that I picked as well. But I didn't need to make the card base either. I just used the blanks that Dawn has. So she has a 6x6 and 5x7s, and she has all manner of sizes. So the principle is the same for any sizes that you have. You just need to adjust your little topper part, which I'll show you on the other one. I did a different shape for the 5x7. Just made it a more rectangle. And you can do as much with you want with your matching and layering. You could go around with inks, but if you just want to go for the nice straightforward way to do it, is just the way I'm doing it now, and I think it looks good. So there's my other little mini card. So these could be made easily into tags and ATCs, so I think they're really lovely. And I'm hoping that we'll just about get that on to there. So I'm just going to trim it down and see if I've worked it out right. I did trim it with my trimmer earlier today when I did it on the other one, so that it would all be neat. So I just need to go a little bit more so that it's not sticking over the edge. yeah, I've not really come across paper favourites until Dawn, to be fair. You're all like used to them. They're not something I've ever really come across, but they're really good quality. And, you know, lovely, lovely patterns and prints. There we go. Just get the little sticky bit off. And I've managed to get a bit of glue on there somehow, but never mind. That's it, it should go in all right. And then we'll just burnish it in. I have been a bit messy on this table today, so if there's any little bits getting in, that's why. There we go, so we've got a nice little sentiment inside, and then we can stick it on here. Now the most important thing for this is to try and get it centered-ish. Doesn't have to be super duper, but I think for the left and the right, for it to look right, trying to sort of get it so that you've got about the same amount on either side. So let me just push that up a bit, and as the screen comes in, I'm going to look on the screen because this is a little bit delayed for me. So I chose the little chair on this one, so you don't really need to put anything else on the front of that one. Yeah, I think that looks fairly well in the right place to me, so I'm going to do that. So to stick it down, all I did earlier on was unfolded it, folded it up that way. Oh, it's moved already, it's moved. Let's stick it on roughly there, but I've got to be quick because, as we know, Dawn's glue sticks fast, so if you're a bit unsure, maybe you want to get a different less super duper glue, because Dawn's is really quick at sticking. Let's have a go though and see whether I've got it in the right place. Pop it there, close it up, shut that one. I'm going to lift it up, and yeah, I think I'm just about there. I'm slightly off. Let's have a look. There we go, I think that's fairly good. There. So that should be in the right place inside. And you've got plenty of room to put any more little embellishments you want, or places to write your message. And you just close it over like that. And there you go. So I thought that was a lovely little card. Really effective and not too complicated to do. So I thought I would manage that one today. And then I'll just show you again in case you came in a little bit late. This is the 5x7 card from Dawn, and then I've put the paper favourites. I don't know what size you call that, is it? Let's have a look, because I've got these ones as well. Are they 4x6? Yeah, near enough. 4x6. They're a bit less than 6 and a bit more than 4. So they're ideal for the 5x7 card size. And again, I just think it looks really lovely, so you can do that with any size. You can see on this one, just to make it look right with the shape of the card, I've gone for, I think it's still 3 inches across, which was my 3-inch square I did there, but I've just come down a little bit on that one to 3 3/4, I think it is there, just to give it a little bit more. There you go. Sarah's got a friend who's going to be 70 years old on April the 17th, but doesn't like pink. Does she like orange and yellow? These lilies are lovely. Really happy colours. And I've used the linen card on the inside of that one to layer it. And actually, because the card is 5x7 and the paper favourite size was 4x6, I've actually added a layer of a matting layer with the linen as well, just to make it fit better. So that's it. That's your first couple of cards made. Yep, thank you very much, ladies. So that's the first one. And we could, if we wanted to pop a little bunch of flowers on, could put a little pink one on if you wanted to. You can pop your little purple one on. Anything you like, or you can put a little bow on or some gems. So that's number one, and that hasn't taken us very long at all, has it? So that hopefully will have given me time to spend on the next project. So put those to the side for the minute, and I'll bring in the next one. Just let me reach over. I've got my table, my other little table for helping me is behind me, so I just have to turn myself around a bit. Right, so we're going to be going for it tonight. I've got my instructions because I don't want to forget what I'm doing, and I have to do it right. And I've got my bits of paper, and I've got all my lovely papers from here as well. So let me put some bits to the side I don't need at the minute. So I picked today to use the New Beginnings that some people will have liked and some people may not have liked. I thought it was a really interesting one, and it's good for kids, teenagers. It's got a lovely colour palette in. You could do them for men's cards, Father's Day. I love the colours in it, and then the little cute characters. So I'll really enjoy putting this in a journal as well. I think there's some lovely little pictures in there and patterns. So I've picked out some papers from this. I haven't used the washi pad yet, but we might do that at the end. And I've also got the die cuts ready, so we're going to do a bit of decorating when we come to it. And what we're going to make, this is the bit that we're going to decorate because I haven't finished it. I've just made the mechanism to show you, and then this is the one. If it all goes wrong, I've still got this one to do the decorating on. So there you go. There. So I'm going to open it up, and then you get your little surprise. Ta-da! So we have a little bit of a mechanism going on here, and this is the bit that I said I have to be lucky and hope for the best that it's actually going to work. And then we're going to decorate all the little bits. So I'll show you the bones of the card. I'll put all the measurements on later, but I just thought it was something different. Kids would love this because they like that kind of thing, don't they? Things that move. So there was a YouTube channel, Shrishti Patel, I think she was called, and they have lots of really good ideas, and that's where I saw them, this card, and I thought, oh, I'll do that with the New Beginnings because it just looks great. And I've put some of the lovely papers on. So that's what we're going to do, and then we're going to decorate that one when we're finished. And you're going to keep my fingers crossed that I can actually do this. Hi Debbie, you're just in time for the main make. Which I'm just keep my fingers crossed that actually I'm going to get it right and it's going to work. I have pre-cut some bits out, and I've got all the measurements to show you. So the first thing that we need is some of Dawn's black cardstock, if you have any. That's what I've used. And I used two sheets of A4 to make sure I had enough. Got a big packet of it here. I think that I've got a 20 sheet pack. And Dawn did say that she's got some in. I messaged her. So she's got them in at the minute. So you need 2 sheets of the A4. And then the first thing you're going to do is cut one of your A4s to 9.5 by 6.5. And that's what we're going to make the card base out of. So we're now going to fold this up. Right, so I'm going to use my thingy trimmer again because it's got a blade in, it's got a little scoring thing in, and I'm going to score this halfway, so that's 4 3/4. And what I did, the lady on YouTube that I saw do this did it all in centimetres, so I've tried to convert it to inches, and for you, because I thought, oh, a lot of people we often do inches, so when I put them on the measurements on, I can do both of them. I think I did have to do a little bit of fiddling and a bit of trimming with this as I go along, just because the measurements I've got I've changed to inches. So I'm scoring it on the halfway, and then I'm folding it over, and that's my card. Just trying to get it lined up. These cards are never quite exactly the size that you think you're making when you're doing them. There you go. So that's the card. Lovely. The next thing is to put a mat on the inside so that that's already there before you start adding any mechanism. And I've gone through that lovely paper pad and I picked out planets for this one. So I went a bit on the grungy kind of rusty colour for that one, which I really like. This one I've gone for a little set of planets. So I'm going to stick that one on, and all I've done is come down by that little bit of a gap. So this one measures 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then we're going to just stick that on there ready. Have you been to work again, Debbie? You always seem to be at work at the minute. And you're always busy. And it's just been Easter. I was listening in the shop today when I went to get a loaf of bread, how crazy they said it was over the weekend. People coming in and they were just absolutely rushed off their feet. And it's just a little corner shop, a little mini corner Sainsbury's. Absolutely packed, and they had to get extra staff in. So just, I don't know what people thought just on bank holiday weekend. Do they just think they're going to run out of everything? Oh, it is. I've never thought of that. It is topical with Artemis, and they've just gone round. They've actually come and said they're back again, haven't they? So they've come back to tell us that they are safe and back round. I might be slightly wonky here again because I'm coming at it from a funny angle. You will take your time and get yourself lined up nicely. There we go. So that's a lovely bit of paper there. Yeah, recovering from Sunday. I think that was the day that they said was a bit crazy. Crazy. Right. So the next bit, you're going to put that over here just for the minute. That's tent folded, ready. Nicely. The next one that you need, you're going to need a piece that is 1 1/2 by 4 3/4, and we're going to have 2 of those, and these are going to be the mechanisms inside that move things around. Those 2. Then we need 2 little ones. That must be the other one there because it's fallen down. That's 1 inch by 4 3/4. So those are the 2 arms that are going to come out to the side, and then you've got your bits that are going to form these panels. Those panels is this one, and that's 7 inches by 3 inches, and we need 2 of those. So the pieces that were just being cut in are the panels here. Turn it up sideways. You've got a little strut there, which is your 1 inch one, and then on the very inside, what it's all stuck to and what is bending things is stuck on there. So that's the first. We're going to do that first bit. Put this away, pop it over there, and then we're going to do this one first. So this is the 1 1/2 inches by 4 3/4. So what we're going to do with that is turn over my instructions so I don't get it wrong. I'm going to score it lengthways down the middle. So exactly down the middle is 7/8 of an inch. So you might want to use your ruler for that. Yes, Sarah, I think it's one of those convenience, like a Sainsbury's convenience, just a little one. Yeah, 5, 6, 7. That halfway? Oh, you see, my brain's not working. Let me just count in the gap. Oh dear, just so I don't do it wrong. So that if I was doing it here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to this one here for my 7/8. That's right. Pop it on there. It's very tricky doing it when you're actually at this angle, so I'm a bit worried it's not going to be in the middle. And I might have cut it slightly wonky. So I am just going to do it down the middle and hope for the best. So this one I'm not cutting, I'm scoring like that. Don't think I'm quite on the middle, but I'm hoping that it doesn't matter as long as I have the principle right. I should have done it exactly where I said I wanted it, shouldn't I? Let's do that there. Just see. It's fine, it'll still work. Yeah, I do want it over there. So ignore my first line. I'm going to do the second one. That's it, so I'm more down the middle. Right, let's try this one a bit easier. Probably a bit easier if I had my ruler and I just went down with a little scoring tool, because I'm not doing very well. I can't see. I think that's my trouble. So 2 seconds. Because I can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to use my ruler. So let me go back and do the measuring of 1.5. 1.5. Is that 1.5? That's 1.5. And 4 3/4. Once you get this bit done, the rest is not so bad. This first bit, I'm probably wasting loads of time because I'm not even thinking about which angle I'm going in. I'm just going, and I was 1.5. There we go. Right, so let's get that. I'm just going to use my pencil. Right. And I'll get my ruler and then we'll just do it with the ruler. And the colours of the card go with orange. So when I was doing this, in case it didn't come off very well, I was going to use my orange pencil. So half, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half of them is there. 3 little bits along. And then the bottom. 1, 2, 3 little bits along. I'm going to do it on this one with the pencil so you see the idea of what you're doing, because you've got to get this bit right. So we've done where that's going to be where the score line is, and then I'm going to measure along here. Let me just I've got to get it exactly right. 1.5 from the edge this way as well. So that's my 1.5 there, and 1.5 there. So then I'm going to score down that way as well. There. And then we need to go from corner to corner, like that, and corner to corner. And let's hope that we go through the same point, or we may be squiggling a little bit with bits and pieces. There, that's good. So you've got your little crisscross shape. So these all need to be scored down, but you can see this is the shape that you need to start with. Hi Julie, thanks for joining us. No worries. We're doing a pop-up card, and I'm just doing the mechanism bit at the minute, which is a bit complicated, but once you've actually got that done, it's not so bad. So I am then going to just see if I can score down with just a little thingy. That should work. Yeah, great. That's it. And I'm going to do the same on those other little marks I've made. I'm not going to worry about them because all the colours in the card, if any of it's shown, I could rub it out. I'm just going to try and get that to marry up and be square. And I fold that one. Yeah. And then we're going to do the same on these corner ones. Oh yeah, I thought people might be outside enjoying the weather. So you might, you know, it's lovely out there at the minute, isn't it? Albie was out because he likes the fresh air, but he was barking, so I had to bring him in. He'll be snoring there shortly. And I'm going to do again, I'm going to fold that over. Just going to try and meet it. If you can see, I'm trying to make it meet, so it's like a square shape, because that'll help with the mechanism later, like that. And then again, that corner, try to make it meet, and then that'll help with the mechanism. Right, smashing. So that's the first one done. We'll do the next one. I'm going to use the orange again, because then if I have it left on, it's part of the feature. I'm better to do it all the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want 1, 2, 3. 3 little dibbers along. So I know this is a bit fiddly, but actually this is the only bit where you have to fiddle a little bit. And if you follow the lady on her YouTube and do hers, she just does it all in centimetres. So I've slightly changed it for inches, and it seems to have still worked by rounding. I rounded it rather than going for exactly the same number of centimetres, because I thought that'd be even harder. And it seems to have worked. I know the main principles of where has to be where things have to be to make it work. There we go. So I'm going to go across there again. That's it. And then the corners. And the next corner. That might not be quite. That's it. Right. I'll get all my little scores in. When it all comes together, it works lovely. I was quite pleased that it worked when I did it earlier today. Again, that's quite well in. Folding all of my score lines. This one, trying to make sure it's like a square that I've folded directly in half, my points. And again, that one's just a little bit wonky. Trying to get that over, and all I did when it was slightly wonky, it just meant I had to trim a few things down. Right, that's the hard bit done. Now we're going to do some cutting out. So we need to have a shape, and I'm going to cut out this section and this section on there, and there we go. So I'm going to cut it along. And cut it along there. That's it. So you've got like a little tower like that with a little bit on the top. Right, I do believe that I want them to be like a mirror image of each other. So I'm going to cut that one and that one. There we go. And if as long as they're both opposites each other, it should work. That's it. So if you did it in a normal pencil or some such, you could just rub it out now, but I've done it in the orange because I know it'll still go with what I'm doing and I'm not worried about it. So now I've got my two shapes, and that's going to be the main part of the mechanism. All right, now we're going to do the sticking on the edges, which is the hard bit. So I've got my prototype here just so I can look in case I get anything wrong. All right, I don't want to go wrong, so I'm just checking that I do it right. So I'll probably pull that out in a minute. I always make a prototype if it's something that's more difficult. So we're going to get the two pieces here, and for the left hand side I want it that way round for the minute. Let me see, I want to put my glue down there. Let me just double check where I'm going. Diddly-dee. Put my glue down there, and then I'm going to stick it there. Right. Okay. So this is the bit that if I get this wrong, I'll have to take it apart and do it. So I'll show you what I'm going to do before I stick. This is going to have glue on down here. Let's just have a practice run without the glue. And I need this little point to be on my fold line. So that little bit in the middle there is going to be on my fold line so that these bits are free to move. So it's going to go there like that. And then I'm going to fold it over, and that little bit is going to stick there, I do believe. Let me just double check that that looks right on the piece of thingy. Oh gosh. Yeah, so I've got that little angle there. That's it. So I've done it right. So if I get that little bit there right on the fold, and this edge right on the edge, this should all then fold that down That should all tuck in without anything being in the way. All right, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Stick it down. Oh, hi Patsy. Have you joined us as well? Nice to see you. If I'm not saying hello to you, it's because I've gone and given myself a complicated thing to do, especially on a live. What on earth I think of doing these things for on lives, I do not know. Right, so let's go there. We're going to go onto the corner. I want that to be able to fold when it goes on. We can actually see where it's gone there now. You can see what we're doing. I'm going to do the same on this side again, making sure that I can fold it over. Hang on a minute. Yeah, so I can. So just making sure I line it up correctly. So let's do the glue again. I'm on the back now where my orange lines are not. I'll show you what I mean. So if we have it facing me so that my tall tower's on the left, that's going to go on the inside of the card. And my short tower is going to go on the outside. So I've glued that ready, and then I'm going to stick. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Stick that on there, and then I'm going to make sure that it shuts and it sticks. A little bit off kilter for the side. That's it. It's nice and straight on the side. Both sides, it's on. Lovely. So we've done the first hard bit. The next bit is to get this little tiny triangle here. You'll have to see that corner. So let me just hold this up for you. So this little triangle here is going to stick to the top card. There. And so again on the other side, the little tiny triangle on the end is going to stick. This is where I did have to do a little bit of faffing about to make sure that it was actually going to close properly and look okay. But I'm hoping that I stick it's just the triangle on there and on there. That's it. So let's get the glue on the little triangle, and then we'll see whether I've actually done it right or whether I have to go to my big one to finish off. Right, I'm going to get that on there, and I'm going to make sure that I stick it just that bit, just the triangle. Just hold it for a minute for your 10 seconds. I just want to make sure that it's going to shut. So that goes down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And hopefully that will have held. Looking good. Fingers crossed, everybody. We're doing all right. We've got that tiny little triangle again to do. Now, the lady on the other video has also put extra card on already to hide things. But I actually thought when I did mine earlier on, I had to put more things on. There. And I'm hoping I've done it right. And if I haven't done it right, then would still hopefully make a card. Oh, thank you, Karen. I do worry about it a bit because it's quite complicated. Right, there we'll have to do a 10-second hold again. Hang on, because I didn't do that. It's come off. Let's get my triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, fingers crossed that we have done it right, and if I haven't done it right, I'm going to tear it apart. Okie dokie. Let's just see. That looks right to me. I feel like it does. So I'm going to just push this over as well now to make sure that it all goes both ways. That one's come off, it's sticky. I didn't do this earlier on, so I'm just wondering whether I've got it at a slightly funny angle. Let me just do that, because I need it to stick down when it's in that position. This is where I did fiddle a little bit earlier on and do a bit of trimming, because it wasn't quite fitting, because it's actually when it's folded down like that that I need it to be stuck in. I don't think we'll bother. That's not going to be a bother, I don't think. Let's go that way again. I just want to make sure that everything will seal, doesn't matter which way round it is. Hopefully all of my little angles are doing what they should be doing. Right, let's go for it. See if it doesn't work, then I know I've done it wrong and I'll have to come back and do another day for you. It looks right to me. It looks like this panel here. This is what I was trying to get on. Let's go for the next bit. Put that to the side again. Hi Joe. You've just missed the hard bit. Who's been watching what? Been watching the Artemis Moon on TV. Oh yes, because they've come back again, haven't they, from being around the other side, so we know they're safe. This is what we're making, if anybody's just joined us. I'll have a little breather after that hard bit. The mechanism bit is the bit that is tricky, but it looks really good once you've actually done it. And I thought it was a good sort of card, mechanical card for the New Beginnings. Really good style for using for that. So that's what we're busy doing, and I've just stuck one of the hard mechanisms on. So I'm going to go back to my little crib sheet to make sure. Stick it on the edge of the card. That's that one. Number 3 pieces. So the number 3 pieces we need are the 1 inch by 4 3/4. So that's these two. All right, so these are going to be our little pulley outy sticky arms. So we're going to score at either end at 7/8 of an inch and then add a reinforcer to the middle. So I will just put a mark again, 7/8 of an inch. It hasn't got to be any more than that, because the where it's going to tuck under. You can see where I was doing it earlier on. I've even put a little orange thing there, so I knew where I was, remembering where to go. So hopefully, see, you're really supposed to measure these things carefully, and I am not being as careful as I should probably be. Oops, look at that, dreadful. Let's just see if I can get it to bend over. That's it. So just want a little flap at either end. That's the 7/8 of an inch, so just short of an inch, because it's going to tuck underneath the one you've already done. It has to be little enough to get through the gap. I really just want you to see what I'm doing with the orange as well, because I think that helps. But there we go. So try to get it so it's nice and neat. That's one. Next one. Are we all right? Are we keeping up? Maybe this is not one you're going to be doing just willy-nilly. I would say have a go at your little prototype first to make sure you get your mechanism working. But actually, once I'd done that prototype and then I did the second time round, it worked and I was really pleased with it. So this is third time as well. Let's hope that it all still goes well. There. Here we go, and then we'll just give it another score down on that bit. Score the two sides. There we are, and then just fold and make sure they meet. And that one. Yeah, that's coming on nicely. And then it asks us to also put a little reinforcer on the inside there, just to make it a bit stronger. So I've got a bit that I cut off before, and I'm just going to pop a bit there. You don't see this, so I am just going to get my scissors and my finger marks on there. Pop that here. Need to nip out with my wheelie bin before it gets too dark. Yeah, I've got my wheelie bins all out ready because we've got the skip. Sorry, when I do that with the scissors, it doesn't half bang for you. I keep forgetting because it makes the springs and that go. Yes, go and get your wheelie bin out. Got all mine ready because we've got the skip, so I had to get them out the way, and the skip's on the drive. And I'm not sure if my family is coming tomorrow or the day after, but then we will be going for it. So I'm just going to put that in there. If it was exactly the right size, it might have been better, but you don't see that bit, so don't worry about it. It's kind of tucked away, but it just recommended a reinforcer strip on there, on the centre panel. That's it. Put this one on, and just as long as I can still fold everything over, that's what we want. Put the lid back on the glue, and then we'll go to the next bit. So now I've put the reinforcer on here, and I'm going to turn it over so the reinforcer is side down. Okay, that's the next part. Then I'm going to stick the glue on. So let me just get one to start with and get my card. This is going to be a bit of another little bit we've got to get right. Turn it over, and the glue's going on that bit. I've got a little picture to show me so I wouldn't forget. I made some notes. Sorry if you get a shadow here because my light is on the right hand side of me, so as soon as I go to put anything in front of it, you get a shadow. So I'll pull it out the way so you can see. The glue is, I've turned the reinforcers on that side, I've turned it over, and the glue is there. Okay, and then we're going to turn it back over and stick. Right, let's go. Oh, she says, am I going to do this right? I am. Hang on. Yes, I am. Right, great. So I'm going to put it in here. So I want it to be so that my little flaps are positioned somewhere in the middle there. I'm going roughly on the middle again on this side. And the reason that we had this particular measurement here was so that it would tuck underneath that flap on the edge there. All right, so if I'm a little bit off, I'll quickly trim. It was smidgen off, but I don't think it's going to affect the mechanism. So I'm just going to pop it there, and I think it's round about, it's not quite in the middle, but it's fine. That's it. So I'm going to put that one on that side. So it's tucked under this little flap that we made. Can you see? Going on there. Reinforcers on that side. Turn it round and we'll do the same on the other side. So again, we'll start with it. Turn so it faces down, and stick a bit of glue on one of the tags. Whoops. So stick the glue on a tab. That's that. Turn this one to the side, and we want to line it up with the one that it's at the other side as well. Okay, so I'm going to stick it here somewhere, but let me just turn it round so I can try to get it lined up. I'm going to put that little fella on my board because I can see on my board I've got some lines. Let me work out which one I'm on. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares ish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares ish. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares ish. But I'm going to just hang on a second. I'm a bit off. Just going to see if they're meeting in the middle approximately, so I get it in the right place, because I can't do it from above when I'm on the live. So if mine are a little bit off and a bit wonky, that's why. Right, there we go. There we are. So we've stuck those two onto there. All right, does that make sense? Oh, hello, there's my little man watching now. And somebody showed her how to do the commenting. Hello. Hello, Pam Laidlaw. That's my mum, if everybody wants to say hello to her. My sister's up visiting today to her, so she's probably showed her how to do it. Because the other day she was watching but wasn't quite sure where to put the comments in. So there we go. Right, so we've done that bit. Now we're going to do the other bit. Hang on, let's go put that to the side for a minute. I've got that bit done. We're now going to move on to these bits, which are our 7x3 pieces. So I've called them card pieces number 4, so I know what I'm doing. So we're now going to get this. Oh, everybody's saying hello. That's a nice community. So my 7x3, I'm going to score it at 4 inches on the long side. I can do that with my scorer because my card's big enough. So put me one out the way. So 4 inches on the long side, line it up and score that one. There we go. And we've got that one done. Next one, 4 inches and score. That's it. Now, before we stick these on, we're going to find a piece of paper out of our little stash that we think might go nicely on these areas. Now, we did already have some pieces from before, so I could use some of them, which was the pipes, and I've got that one as well. Just put those there. So the little bits I'm going to do, I'm going to get a mat and layer for that square and that rectangle. Hi Julie, thanks for joining us. We're just busy looking at the papers for a second to see what we're going to use. So I've used a nice space themed one, haven't I? Where did I put the rest of that? Because I might actually want it to see what goes nicely with it. Let's have a look. Because, oh, lovely. Oh, I wonder if we should put some of these on, some of the buildings. That might be interesting on the bottom. As soon as we've got that kind of colour palette that matches those ones, we could do that. And I'll just see if there's anything else I fancy on it. And the other bit. Some lovely papers in here. That's one for its own place, isn't it? That's some more greens, and they're more topper ones at the back. So I think we'll go for that skyline for the big one, and then I might go with the, where was it? It wasn't that one. I saw when I was thinking would go with it, and my brain's just lost it. 2 seconds. It wasn't that. Not that. Let's see. Sorry, everybody. That was the one I thought I might go with it, because the browns might come in with the greens, just for another colour. Right, to put those to the side again. That's what we've chosen. Okay, put that to the side. So for the matting and layering now on the black card, we're going to just go down a size slightly, aren't we? So I'm going to do 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 twice, and then 3 3/4 and 4 and 2 3/4 twice. So I'll tell you that again in a minute. Right, this is the one I would like on the long piece. So I'm going to cut along here to get my width, which is going to be the 2 3/4 to fit in there. I think that'll be lovely. There we are. So I'm going to cut a bit of the bottom off, I do think. So I'll go to 2 3/4. I'm going to cut off all of the sky buildings. I think I might go cut that bottom bit off like that. There we go. Line it up. Just trim that a little bit. And now I'm going to do my 2 3/4 here, just for my mat and layering. I will do the measurements again for you on a separate post, because I don't think anybody's going to remember all of these. So that's the 2 3/4 bit that's going to go onto the long one. And then we need this length. So that was the 4-inch panel, wasn't it? 1 3 4, yeah. So we're going to go to 3 3/4 for that. On the mat. There it is. Hopefully we get 2 of them out of it. 4 3/4. Yep. So that 8 by 8 paper's perfect. I've just chopped a little bit off the bottom, and then they're not the same. Hang on a second, guys. What have I done? Wait a minute. 3 3/4. Was it 3 3/4? Not 4 3/4. I wanted to be. We hope so, because I've cut it down now. There, get them both the same. Now this little one, because I've got my 3, I want 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So just be careful that you've got it the right way round. So I've got my panels are going to be horizontal, so I need my pictures to be facing the right way. And I'm going to get that little fella off the bottom, because I like that, and I think that'll work nicely. So that was the 2 3/4. Let's hope I'm remembering it correctly. By 2 3/4 there. Yeah, that'll do. That should be my little one. I've got a rocket, and then other 2 3/4. Maybe we could do that little panel. And just chop that edge off, and then we'll have that funny little panel as the other 2 3/4 one. There we go. So that's the 2 bits we need. There we go. So we're measuring done again, and we've got our panels ready, and then we're going to stick them on. So the one that's going to go on the left, I'm going to have the long side here and the short side here. So we're going to stick that there, and I think we'll stick that one there. Okay, so that's the panel that's going to come in on the left side of the card. The right side of the card, we're going to turn it round, and we're going to have the wider panel that side and the small square panel that side. Does that make sense? So they're going to be our left panel and right panel. Okay, so let's stick them on. Oh, thank you, Karen. It's nice to get a little bit of encouragement, just so that you know, I know you're following me, because it's a little bit of a tricky one. But actually, I think the first card we made is one that I'm hoping to see some people have made those and put them on the group, because that was a really nice, simple card, but it looked very effective. And there's not much measuring really at that one at all. It was just cutting a diagonal once you've got your mat and layer sorted. And if you cut your mats and layers out first and then you cut it on the diagonal, you don't have to do any measuring at all at that point. So stick those on. Hopefully it's level. I can't see, but we'll be there. And then we're going opposite on this side. Which is the lovely set? Is that the one I'm using now or a different one? This one is called New Beginnings. It was just a little mini Stamperia launch that came out, but I just thought it was a bit different, and I really liked it. I think it made good journals, and like I said, it's quite the right thing to do at the minute. Yeah, it sold out quick, but I don't know whether there's any still that's available, whether Dawn can get it or not. She would have to check, because sometimes you can get back stock and sometimes you can't, so she might be able to have a little look. Yeah, Louise, it is. It's called New Beginnings. I'll show you the front cover of the book when I have finished. I've probably cut those slightly different, but it's fine. So that's it. Now my next instruction tells me to stick it on. So now I've got to hopefully remember how to do that, because I haven't given myself anything more than that. So let's go back to this. This is what we're going to stick it onto. And my little prototype, oh, I can look at this one because this is the last bit, isn't it? So you can see if I turn that up to the side, can you see? Maybe that way is better. Can you see we've got like a little strut here? There. Can you see that? Probably holding it a bit wonky. Hang on, I'll just see if my screen catches up with itself. That little strut, that's what we're going to attach this onto. Yeah, so that's where we're going now. And I just have to remember, I'm going to fold that down. Right, there we go. So let's get this one on this side. See where I need to be on there. Boo, boo, boo. Right, this is going to go onto this flap. Okay, can you see that one that's sticking up? Let me turn it over there and I'm going to stick it onto there. Right, now you want to watch when you're sticking it on that you don't go near any of your folds that you've got up here at the top. All right, it's not quite the same size, so just line it up in the middle and up and down, pop it on there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to glue the bit that goes there. So I know that it's going to be just that little edge. There we go. I'm going to put a bit of glue down here. Get that one on. I'm going to line it up down this way. There we go. All right, so we'll get that little fella on. So you can see I've folded that one flat and I've stuck it on there. Does that make sense? There we go. So that's going on there. Do that again for this side so you can see where we're doing. So if you can see in the light here now, I've got my flap sticking out with my reinforcer up. I've got my little orange marks I made earlier. I can fold that flap on itself down there. All right. And that's where I'm going to stick it, but I don't want it to stick where these fold lines are at the top. And hopefully, if I'm clever, I can try to get it lined up with that side. So what I'll do, I'm not going to do that because I'm just waiting for it to stick. I just want to try and get it lined up. And again, because I'm not watching from the top, I'm just going to hope for the best. So if mine is a little bit wonky, please excuse me. Let's hope that's right. So I'm going to stick it on. The glue can go on here if you want to, but just bear in mind that it was not quite the same size. There was a little border. My 3 inches. This is where I was measuring it differently to the lady. So my 3 inches means I've got to have a little bit of a gap there. Now, let's have a look, see if I'm roughly in the same spot. Yep. So now we've just got to hold it down, do our counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Must have got fed up writing notes. Is that me? No, I just like to have it. If I don't have the notes written down, then I'm worried I'm going to forget what I'm doing. Because it's just a bit too tricky. This one, but we're just about finished the main bits. Now what you can do if you really want to, each of these little triangles here, if you want to put little triangles of colour on that, you can, but I chose black because I thought that was okay and I didn't really feel like I needed to add any more extra bits there. You can see on this one I did put some triangles on to those corners, but I really am not sure that I need to do that. I'm just going to leave it black. That's a bit easier. Probably should have, you can see there I haven't quite come right up to that edge just because I was at a funny angle, so it'll still work, it's fine. Right, now the next part, we are going to pick this up and we're going to put the glue on there. All right, so struts on the inside, and we're still going to make that little box shape, and this is going to go over onto that. All right, so we've just got to get it in the right spot. I'm going to just make sure that that is burnished back as well. Lovely. And I'm going to then have faith that it is going to work. So turn it over and you can see what we're doing, hopefully. So if I turn it over there, that's the flap that I'm going to put the glue on, and then tuck it under, and it's going to be on there. So it's going to sit at onto the very edge of this 4-inch rectangle. There we go. So let's get the glue on there. You can see again. Tuck it under and put it down. All right, and then we'll get that held. Yeah, I think if you put the black, it's very forgiving, isn't it? As well, and it does make it's really good with this pad. I think it's perfect. And I haven't added any extra inks or, you know, bits and bobs really, because it just looked nice with the black. Make sure you've held that for your 10 seconds, because we want to make sure it all sticks. And then we'll turn it round the other way. So I've got it face down, is easier for me for you to see what I'm doing. I think we're a little bit wonky because I can see that is not straight. So I'm hoping it'll still fold upright. I think that's just because I'm working on a slight angle, because you know, I'm working at my arm's length really, rather than working overhead where I normally would. But we should still get it working. It might just be slightly wonky. So again, that little tab at the end, we're going to put our glue on there, like that. All right, tuck it under, and then you're going to lie it flat. Now I can see, because I am on angle, that that's going to catch my seam. So I'm just going to cut that a little bit, and I think that's just to do with my lining up. And then I should put that on, and it should still, that's it now. I didn't want anything to impinge on this score line. All right, so it's got to fit in there. Oh, hello David, that's my brother. Hello Elaine, that's my sister. Hi everybody. Everybody's watching. David Laidlaw, Whitley Bay says hello. Hello everybody in Whitley Bay. There we go. I'm just going to hold that again for the 10 seconds, put the lid on the glue, otherwise we'll have it clogging up. I think that's my 10 seconds done. And then we'll turn it over and we'll hope that it has worked. Tuck it all in. Yeah, you can see I'm a bit wonky on this one just because of, I think, the angle I'm sticking it down at. Let's go. Hello Angela's family, everybody say hello. I bet it was busy there. Yeah, it will have been a busy day. It was busy on the motorway when my sister was driving up, I think. So there you go, that's your little card mechanism opening out and then closing in down. Voila, so that has worked. I'm really pleased with that. Now the next bit, I'm going to show you a little bit of decorating on this one, because I found some of the papers were just lovely. I went back, I'm going to go back to the space to go at the bottom, I think, just to match in with what we've got here. And I am just going to eyeball it with my, mark it with my thumb. You could, of course, decide to cut it correctly and measure it, but I'm just going to do that. So we've done it. Success! Have we still got Jackie, or did she go out? Jackie was just, we were laughing on the group this afternoon because I was saying I was doing it, but it might all go wrong. So it's actually worked. Hee. Well done. I'm pleased. So I'm just going to cut that little strip from my paper to go on that base, and I've just marked it with my thumbnail. If you need to get your ruler out and measure, then do that. And that's just a pop on there. on the bottom. Well, it's just fun to see something different, I think, isn't it? I know it's a bit complicated, but it's worth it really, I think, when you get the finished one. And it's just something different. I'll show you the one we did at the start when I finish this, and then you can see that's a one that is a little bit easier and not as much thinking needed. So I'm just going to pop that on the bottom of there as a little extra for the colour. Like I say, if you want to add any extras onto your little tabs in there, you can. But then I thought I'll show you the booklet. They're lovely, lovely papers. Let's get them out. So you've got some really good scenes here that would go in the middle if you wanted to. This is the single-sided one, the single-sided pack. I think I don't know whether I got Dawn's last one or not, but she might. I don't know if they're still available. You might have to ask if they are. This one's called New Beginnings, but they're just a bit different, aren't they? Something a bit nice and different. So let me show you at the back. That's the pack. Excellent idea. I'll expect this card for my birthday now. Oh, well, I think this year was the first time I'd managed to remember to give you a birthday card in years, in donkey's years, probably forever. Because it was your 60th, I actually decided to make you one. So, was it this year? I don't know. Might have been. Right, these are the ones I was looking at. So they've got some nice images already in, and they've got the little rectangles, but they've also got the little squares. Have I already chopped into the squares? No, there they are. So I really wanted to look at these because I thought that might be interesting in the middle. I think I already did. I'll show you. That's what I'm after. Let's see which of these girls would like in there. I think maybe the one where they're holding that planet's nice. And the colours in the background matches the sky that I've picked. So I'm going to go for that one. But they're just a nice topper shape as well. Yeah, well it's topical. I didn't even think about it being topical until somebody on here said that it's quite a good time of year to be doing a space themed one when we're busy going around the moon and back. And I'm just going to trim it. If you want to go around with ink and faff about, you can, but it actually looks great just popped on to the black, and that gives it its border. So again, make sure we get it the right size, up the right way up. Lovely. There you go. So that's going to go in the middle of there. I like that. Yeah. Hi Julie. I didn't see you there, didn't see you coming in earlier on, so thank you for joining us. And we're just about finished the actual mechanism of the card, and it would just be then more decorating that we need. So I'm going to stick that one on there. Haven't got much wiggle time, so let's hope I get that roughly in the middle. There we go. Lovely. That's it. So just need something for the front and we're away. Yeah, I know, Karen, it was one that you'd maybe at first look you think, oh, I'm not sure about that, but I love the colour palette in it, and I just think they're just a little bit different, aren't they, some of the images. So that is actually, the mechanism has worked and we've done it, and that's all the main decorating done. We just would put something on the front. So let me go back to the one that I made earlier today, and this one I have put something on the front already, and I have got it ready to decorate, and I've put the world in that one. Oh Julie, have you been there since the beginning? Sorry, I didn't see you coming in, but thank you for joining us. I would have said hello at the start. There we go. So really it's up to you how you decorate it. We could stick a few little bits on. I'll get some of these out and show you. die cuts. I haven't looked at these yet, so these might be nice to use. Have a little look. There's loads of little bits in here. There we go. Little cute fellas. Some little sentiments. Nuts and bolts. Oh, that's great. So we've got some nice words, because I'm always looking for words and sentiments to put on things. We've got some nice planets. That's great. So this looks a really good value pack, the die cuts. There's loads in here. That's like a little radio, a little cactus, random bits, books, scrolls, more words, bit of space rock. Number 1 in case it's somebody's birthday. So I don't think I'd give a number 1. I wouldn't give a 1-year-old one of these, I don't think. It's a bit much for that. Maybe it's for an anniversary. Oh, look at that little fella. Isn't he cute? I do like the little man. Or the little girl. I do think we might have some cuteness there. There's a number 5. So David, I could have had, if you were 51, could have had a 51 or a 50. Could put them all in together. That's it. So there's absolutely tons in here that you can use. So I'm gonna be really stuck with this bit, and I'll probably want to sit and take my time over it. So I may not decorate it fully, but I'll get a few pieces out. That's the same girl that was in the middle of the other one. She might go nicely. But we'd have to just check. If you were, say, putting her on there, you've got to check that she goes down into the mechanism. So you really want her, probably, she might be a better on the front, because she's quite big. I like her. She's a good one. I don't know if these are the ones that are sticky or whether it's the ephemera that's sticky. Julie, do you know? Because I never know. This does not look like it's got a sticky bit on the back. So I think this is not sticky. The ephemera must be the sticky ones. The ephemera tend to have a bit of a sheen on them. But I think that looks really good. So that might go there. Coming on the inside, I think we'll want something a little bit smaller. God, we could even have a rocket coming on there, couldn't we? You know, that's a really good big one. Maybe we just want, sorry, I'm putting it up in the camera's face. Maybe you just want a clock. Or the little fella, you know, a little fella in there. I'm going to be really stuck, so I'm not going to finish this now. Is that all right? Can I just go and see what I feel like tomorrow? Or do you want me to try and make a decision? Not very good at decisions like this. Oh, and I'll tell you what else there is. Let's have another look. I am going to go for her, I think, going on there. And then I could put a, you know, could always put a sentiment on. Imagine, believe, stuff like that. Yeah, isn't there? We could stick a couple of little nuts and bolts on. Little stars on. Oh, too hard. Shall I put them on the front? These are thick chipboard. Yeah. So the ephemera ones must be a bit thinner, and they have the sticky on the back. You won't want to use mine. I know. I'm going to put her on there though, because she is the one that I like. So if this is thick chipboard, I'm hoping Dawn's glue, apparently it sticks everything, is going to be sufficient. If it's not, if it decides to pull off, I have got my heavy body one that also sticks everything. Ooh. I'm going to make a decision on this bit, look. Maybe I'll give this one to my niece next year for her birthday, so I could save a space for an 8, because she's been 7 this year. I could put a nice 8 on the front, so I'll leave a space there for an 8. Yeah, I feel as if I'm going to put the girl and a couple of little stars They're like little starfish. They're funny little shaped stars. Maybe I could put a bit of colour on there. Do these colour up nicely? Use the ephemera to colour up. Yeah, that's sticking on all right with Dawn's thing. What do you call it? Dawn's glue. Dear me, honestly, I forget everything. Oh, what about some stickles? The trusty stickles. Stick them on and then stick the stickles on top. Stick a couple of them on. They work really well with foam pads. Oh, let's stick them stars on with foam pads then. Yeah, well done, Karen. That's what we need to do. Make them 3D. Let's go. I feel like I need a bit of music in the background at the minute. It's very quiet in here. I haven't even got Albie snoring. Normally he's having a little snore about near me. I don't know where he's gone to. Oh, I can't get that one off. I've cut it so well. Let's see, where's the other end? That's it. That big one should be all right with that. See if I can see it. Oh, tired now. Is anybody doing anything tomorrow? Is it just back to work? And I don't know if my little family are coming tomorrow or whether they're coming on Thursday. Maybe they'll tell me in here. I'm not sure. Didn't cut that one down very well, so I'll do that. Stick them up on little stars. Yeah, I'll just pop a couple of stars on, and then I've got room to put a number if I keep it for a little girl or a little boy. And then we could put some stickers on there later. We'll not do that now, otherwise we'll get wet. So what we're going to put on the inside, there's also these washy things as well that we might want to put on to a little bit. Soup making day for the homeless. Oh, you're really good. Look, it's 9 o'clock already, so it must be nearly time to finish. Let's have a little look at some washi pads and see if there's a little sticker that we fancy. We've got all sorts in here as well. Lovely. So I could stick the little colourful stickers on there as well. They would be nice. Just on the bottom corner. I'm just going to cut them out. And with it being washy, it should mingle into the background. If I just randomly cut them out. And hopefully I'll get them off the page. And we can just stick a couple of little stars down there as well. And burnish them right in so you lose the outline. Like that. Now you can just cut them out with scissors, or there's a ceramic tool that you can use as well. We've got anything on this inside one here that we could put on. So maybe that rocket would be good on the inside. Shall we do that? Oh, we're just going for it now. Right, I'm going to cut this out and stick it on. Keep it on the page, and then it's easy to chop all of it out. Yeah, I've seen them that you go and help at with the homeless charity before. You've mentioned that, Louise. That's really good. Sorry if I'm not looking at the comments just while I'm trimming. I'll try and go a bit quicker. These are just like a sticker really, the washi that you can stick on. Just get the little legs out. It's a bit of a menace having to sit and watch me do this, but I'll just be as quick as I can. It won't be too bad because it'll just mingle in, like I said, with the background. Let's have a look. Who else has been visiting a DIY store? bracket for my blinds that fell down this afternoon. Oh, I fixed our blind with a matchstick the other day. My brother showed me how to do that, but I'm expecting it'll probably just fall down again because I've just stuck the matchstick in the hole. I like the sound of cutting. Oh, maybe I should make some of them ASMR videos. I'd have to just not speak and just sit making the noises with this. There we go. I'm going to put this one on. You've got to be careful that when you're opening it up, that because it's attached there, don't go pulling it right open. Right, I'm going to attempt to stick this on here. I'm going to just go for it. So I'm just going to put the nose down, and then I'm just going to go like you're doing your mobile phone case cover. Go down like that, and we're on. There you go. So that's nice, because it may be not a good idea to have too much 3D on this middle bit because of all the mechanisms I've got inside. So that's really gone nicely on there, hasn't it? And then where I've just not cut it properly, if I just keep burnishing that down, it should go in to the background and merge in. Ooh, lovely. It's looking good. So that's another nice option, is using your washies. And the other option, put these out of the way for a minute because I've shown you them. And I'll probably then just do the rest of this tomorrow or later on. Maybe not tomorrow or the next day because I've got visitors. I'll do it at the weekend. But I will get it. I'll get it posted for you to see. I'm just going to push them all at the back because I'll tidy them up in their little bag in a minute. I'm not going to lose anything if I push them that way. Fall off onto the floor. In the back of this pad as well, my single pad, there's all these little ephemera as well. So again, you need to cut these out. These are not ones that you can pop out. So if you have trouble with the cutting out, I would say go for the ephemera or the die cuts. These are the die cuts, the chipboard ones. And then you don't have to be cutting anything out, you just stick them on. And most of the papers in here, you can then just use your trimmers and your scissors. These little toppers, easy enough with your trimmer. I mean, that, you know, they would be nice just popped in as well on here. Cut out a little rectangle and stick it on a ATC or a tag. Lovely. So there you go. I am actually going to stop with that because I think it's going to take me too long, because I will faff and mess on and I'm not going to get everything stuck on. So I want something on these bits. But that just gives you the idea of what we've made. And I think it looks nice with that washi on it. I'll have a little sit down and a play and decide what else I'm going to put on. But I'm going to leave a gap there, I think, in case. I think it would be good to put a number on there or a little happy birthday. So that's that one. Let's put that to the side. I'm going to get my black card out and hide the mess a minute. And then we'll bring all the bits and pieces in that we've made. Put this black card down on the desk. So that's the number one. We've got that one. I made that one this afternoon. That worked well. And then we have just made this one. I really like the colours in this as well, greens. And I'll finish off decorating that one. I'll see what I fancy putting on the front as my background paper. There you go. I'm pleased with it. It seems to be working well, even though it was a little bit wonky, that one. So we've done quite well. So pleased with that one. So I'll get them all finished and post them on for you. And the other things that we did at the beginning of the session, we got our paper favourite cards and we made a nice little card out of that. And we also made some little, oh, I've just pulled that one out. Yeah, might have to glue a couple in. Made a little doodah, what's it? Little spray, which you could use for your cards. That's just fell out. I'll have to glue that one back in. Or a little pink one. There you go. So we can add those to cards. And we made this one in the session so you could see how to do it. It's a good one. And a very nice bright orange lilies, really bright and summery. So that just needed its sentiment going on there. Did I not put a sentiment on there? I'm sure I had one ready for you to pop it on. Oh, I popped it on that one. That's right. We did show you how to do that as well. Put the sentiment on that one, didn't we? So it's just the same. So you can write in it or that, or put it in and decorate it how you work, how you wish. Thank you, Gillian. So I think these ones are really nice to do, really effective. And then you can decorate them up, you know, as much as you want or as little as you want with any extras, with your little bits of flowers and your little bits of stickles and your gems. But I thought that was a nice card to start with. And then I'm really pleased with our fancy one that we've done. It has worked well. There you go. So I hope that's all right. I showed you my little bits of these that I was doing as well this week. So I'll do something with these. This is a really lightweight. It's a Stamperia one, like a paste. Very, very light. So I can probably put that on a card. So I've just been painting that one and doing the same with those. I think I prefer the heavier stuff than the lightweight. But I took them out of the mould early so that I could get a bit of shape on the leaves as well. So they're all shaped. So that was one of my little things I've been doing this week. And then the other little thing I've been doing, which I'll show you, I got a paper, oh, there's all the paper favourites flying around. I did a little quick bit of decoupage on this one and put a bit of stickles on. So that was the hibiscus paper favourites as well. I haven't got a sentiment along the bottom, so I haven't trimmed it to the right size yet in case I was going to use that place for sentiment, or I'll trim it down if not. And I've just stuck some stickles on the middle of the flowers and on the stamens up there. But I could have done with a second pack, another pack, so that I could do more layering. That's my tip for next time, that I actually want to buy 2 packs at once. Because I love decoupage, but I like to have enough layers. And I had to play around with this one and cut things out and do trick layers on it, just so I could get that purple on, but I would have liked more. So I need 2 packets next time. There we go. So that's what I've been doing. And I think you saw that one online. I did that from last week's, I put it on the page from last week's session. I just did another little quick easel card on there. So there you go, a few little ideas. If there's anything that you want to see, please do ask. Thank you, Julie. That's kind. And if anybody wants to sort of see anything in particular, please ask me. I'm happy to do decoupage. I can do the poppy out ones so that they're easy if you've got dexterity problems. I can do the cutting out ones. These are quite good shapes, that they're easy to cut out, but they're nice to layer up. And then I've got other things that might be a little bit more tricky. But hopefully you've enjoyed that today and had a little bit of inspiration. I'll put all the measurements out for you for this one. Maybe I could do a little video, something to show you that one again. Could do with some little mini videos. I am trying to save all my lives, so that maybe they could go onto YouTube at some point. I'll have to ask Dawn if I can get onto her YouTube. I'm saving them onto my YouTube, which I've just got them as private because they're Dawn Bibby videos, so I didn't like to put them on my own page. So if I can get onto Dawn's page, I will, and then they're there for you to watch back. Thanks, Louise. Thanks, Jackie. Thank you, Julie. Thanks, everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, Patsy. Oh, bless you. And thank you, everybody, for joining in. The clay pieces are fab, thank you. Right, so I think that's everything today that I was going to show you. Is that all right? Any questions before I go? So the lady who I saw the mechanism from was Shrushti Patel on YouTube. All her measurements were in centimetres, so I've converted into the nearest inches and managed to get it to work. So that's where I found it. She's very good. Okie dokie. Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. I don't know if there's anybody else I've missed. There's lots of Julies. Thank you, Gillian. All right, that's lovely. So thanks, everybody. And the next live is Dawn on tomorrow night, which will be 8 o'clock, I would think. And I think it was Sarah on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, at 3 approximately. But she'll be on the Dawn Bibby Creations page rather than in the group. So have a little look and watch out for that. I don't think I'll fit any more lives in this week just because I have got lots of things to do and a huge skip that needs to be filled. So I won't have time to do any more. So that's why I've snuck in a bit early this week for you. But hopefully I'll see you again the following week. And everybody have a good time and enjoy the rest of your night. I'm ready for a little cup of tea now. I'm going to have a bedtime tea and settle down. I might have a bath. I don't know. Right, okay, everybody. Nice to see you and thank you for joining me. And I'll say good night now. Oh, nobody spotted my little deliberate mistake last time. So if you look on my last video, I had changed the date and I had changed the day, but I was still on March. So now I'm on April. So I like to put the date in the corner for you to see. So nobody spotted that. There you go. This has come from my granddad, his house, many, many years ago. It's very old because I'm getting very old now, so it will be very old. Right, okay, everybody. I'm just waffling now, so I'm going to say good night and go and get my cup of tea. Bye, everybody. Night, night. Take care. Just stand up and listen for the creaks, and then I'll press. Bye.